Get some.
That was rude.
Pop. He's done. He knows. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the finale of the Ben Simmons series. If you're new to this channel, you have no idea what the Ben Simmons series is. It is a series I started when I was 25 years old. I'm now 26. The Ben Simmons series encapsulates all of the BS in life, and it's basically just a little time capsule so you can get to know me, and maybe one day I'll be able to show my kids. Are you taking pictures of me without my consent? This video is gonna be a full circle moment. If you don't know what that means, you're gonna find out. Because right now, we're in an airport, and, excuse me, ma'am, where are we going?
Seattle.
I'm here in Seattle, Washington because, believe it or not, this is the birthplace of my YouTube channel. Cue the video of my first video ever that I deleted because I didn't want anyone to see it. See everything? You know, nice little views. Oh, we're zooming in very slowly. But yeah, there used to be less trees there. I'm also here because my girlfriend's in a beauty pageant. Seattle is a place that promotes introspection, which means a lot of time alone thinking. And when I lived here for a stretch of time in 2021, for me, it was exactly that. Since the inception of this channel, back in my young age, now that I'm here in my unk age, I think that being introspective and self-reflective is probably the biggest step into becoming who you are meant to be. And one of the biggest things I've learned in the Ben Simmons series is it's all about perspective. And sometimes we just need a little bit of a mindset shift, or maybe we need to change locations. And when you do those things, you change just a little bit, you realize it always does come back full circle. The thing about being honest with yourself and being introspective is you don't truly know some of the things you really need to work on until they're out in the open. We're at a place called Mr. Fish. This was the first place in Seattle I ever went on a date. And I didn't know too many people in Seattle, so on this date, I just sat there and I yapped. I just talked all about myself. Didn't ask her many questions about her. And now I found someone who I can sit here in silence with. You know, eating crab is much like a lot of things in life. Sometimes you just gotta work really, really hard and you only get a little piece of meat. You only get a little bit of a win. Sometimes you go all in and you get this back. Uh-oh. Max, ketchup. The work always pays off. You cannot stop. When you're inches away from gold. Okay, we're getting a fortune told. Am I allowed to read it? Romance or a great friendship you'll soon find adds great pleasure to your life. You find that it is difficult to know at what moment this love begins, but less difficult to know that it has begun. Do you know why I called it the Ben Simmons series?
Because his number is 25.
I thought so. I really did. But then I realized that it's more about dealing with, you know, things that you don't really want to have happen. Overcoming obstacles and still being okay with who you are at the end of the day. Because Ben Simmons, they thought Ben Simmons was going to be the next LeBron. Didn't really work out, no. But do you think Ben Simmons is happy with himself? I'd hope so. And I hope if he sees this video, he appreciates what I'm trying to say. And I hope he gets what I'm trying to say. Because I'm not bagging on it. Because life is hard. Things happen. You get hurt. You get scared to shoot the ball. But when that's your job, you just got to show up and do it. And he still shows up. He still does it. He doesn't do it how other people think he should, which I'm okay with. And I support Ben Simmons.
Hopefully he has spa days.
I bet he has a lot of spa days, just like us. I'm gonna win this freaking beauty pageant. Ooh! Hey!
Oh, I messed up.
Oh.
I'm locking in now. Ready? First runner-up, Olivia. Woo!
I'm here in Bellevue, Washington on the 4th of July amongst a sea of people, and I really just want to talk about one thing, my shirt. Everybody here is celebrating Independence Day, but if you really think about it, no one's independent. And this shirt is probably the biggest full circle moment ever made. The fact of the matter is we are the only species that has to pay money to live on Earth. And this shirt right here exemplifies something that a lot of people, especially in America, wish they had. And true independence is actually impossible to achieve. And the full circle moment that my shirt shows is us humans built this, all of this. Independence is what a lot of us crave innately. And maybe it's not going back to being like Sasquatch, because as humans, we created all of this. But the idea of a more simple life, a more innocent life is something that I think a lot of us can relate to. So, in the name of independence, we're here lighting off fireworks and celebrating America's birthday. But in a sea full of people, you might feel alone. The only friendly face I've truly seen is my girlfriend back there. I even saw a kid in a Boise State Broncos shirt, and I gave him knuckles and I said, "Go Broncos," and he didn't supply the knuckles back. That's something that never would have happened in my hometown of Boise, Idaho, but here, even though we're here as a community, we're all living independently, so everyone's kind of scared to step out of that shell. The point of what I'm trying to say is all of this is great. This building right here, this view, great. Hanging out with all these people going to watch fireworks is great. But deep down sometimes, I know someone watching this will agree with me that going back to the simple life wouldn't be too bad. Being 26 definitely has some perks. They rented me a car. It's a Mitsubishi. And to circle back to what I was saying last night, there was a time in the human evolution where we were extremely individualistic. We would be like Sasquatch, one here, one there, building fires, living in caves. Then somewhere along the line, we decided, hey, this is probably not the best idea. Let's all get together and do this thing together, which is a great idea. We know as humans, we need to feel community. We need to feel like we have a place and a home. But if we think about it, once it gets to a certain level, like last night when there's a crowd of people everywhere, faces that are unfamiliar everywhere, everyone's guard goes up and that sense of community is gone. We're literally straight back to Sasquatch. The best human interaction I had last night was when I was standing waiting to use a porta potty. I asked the guy, so how's this work? Does their half take that half and our half take this half? And he says, yeah, I think so. That was the best interaction I had. And what I've learned this last year through life and through this series is I am an extremely individualistic person, but at the same time, I know that I crave community. I'm a yapper at heart. I need other people to yap to. Something I found, especially when I lived in this area, there were people that would talk, but it was very surface level. It's called the Seattle freeze. You don't really make too many new friends when you move here because everyone thinks you want something from them. And last night was really the reason why I moved. I love this area so much. I really enjoy all the things you can do. But when it comes down to it, as much as they preach community, there's not much of a community. Everybody has their guard all the way up. Speaking of guard up though, and familiar faces, we're going on a secret mission. You might see someone you've seen in a video before.
Got a stick in it, I got in with it, thin mint smoking, perk popping, politics sipping, they ain't listening, shoot his ear off. I had the Will Smith and still wiggling with that dude spot, nigga, that Ben Simmons. On God, it cost a sick horse side, I'm getting 10 tickets.
Wait, I know you.
You thought that thing is sporting slide, that bitch skip it. The last nigga missing, we sagged with extensions. A bag full of Benjamins, we passed and we split. 4-5, got a stick in it, I got in with it, thin mint smoking, perk popping, politics sipping, they ain't listening.
Checking in for the game-winning shot. I'm here with
What the? Logan Ellis.
game-saving rebound and assist. How do you feel?
I feel good, but we lost.
Yeah. When did you get your braces?
Monday.
You had like 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 assists.
That's decent.
I think we can get that number up to like 5 at least next game.
For sure. I got it for you though.
I believe in you.
I'll keep track. Thank you.
I know that I said earlier that my Sasquatch shirt was the biggest full circle moment that could ever happen, and I'll stand on that. But after Logan's basketball game, God showed me my own. I actually ran into my old roommate and my college basketball coach at the game, and we had a really good conversation on perspective. I thanked him for all the things he taught me because I felt those things made me able to coach and train and do all the things I'm doing today. But he told me he felt that was one of the worst years and weakest coaching years of his whole career. And we had a really good conversation on his perspective of things, and if he knew what he knew now, he thought our team could have been a lot better and I and some other players could have been utilized a little bit more. And that's the thing about perspective. Everything seems way more clearer in hindsight. To me, that was the biggest full circle moment, because when you're a kid, especially a young kid, you think that the adults in your life are somewhat perfect, that they know exactly what they're doing. As a 26-year-old man, to talk to my college coach and him admit like, hey, I don't know if I was doing the best I could that year, it really puts things into perspective, and it shows you the humility that that man has. And when you're committed to growing, like I said earlier, you have to have that self-reflection and that introspection. And just hearing that from him really brought everything together in my eyes. It really was a wholesome moment and something that I'm very grateful to have happened, because I don't ever think you cross paths with somebody on accident, so that was supposed to happen. And it's just a great culmination to the end of this. Sometimes when we have goals, it feels like our goal is in the middle of the circle and all we can do is spin around it. I'm dizzy. And sometimes your goal is a single point on the circle. You're in the middle and you're looking straight at it. And at first it seems like a straight path. But the truth is, life doesn't keep you fixed at the center. As you learn, you grow, you adapt, you begin to walk the circumference of that circle. The goal stays on the same circle, but your perspective changes. What felt really far away might feel a little bit closer. What once felt impossible may be visible now from a little bit of a different angle. And sometimes you realize the goal isn't even a fixed point at all. It's a part of a much larger shape that you only get to see when you step back. The circle reminds us it isn't just about reaching the point. It's about traveling the whole arc. The journey around the circle gives meaning to the goal itself. So, don't panic if the path curves. Circles are made of curves, and every step around it brings you closer. Not just to the goal, but to understanding why you started. I'm here with
Olivia, number 107.
Did you win the whole pageant?
Unfortunately, I did not, but it's okay.
You did win Miss Photogenic, Top Model First Runner-Up, Spokesmodel, State Pageant Top Semi-Finalist, and Miss Idaho Elite First Runner-Up. How do you feel about your pageant experience?
I learned a lot. It was a really great experience, and I look forward to going to nationals.
Where are we going?
Orlando, Florida.
So, when you signed up for the pageant, what was your goal?
To put myself out there that I wouldn't normally would have done, I guess.
It wasn't to win?
Well, a little bit. I'm a little competitive, but then I realized it was more than just winning.
If there's a little girl out there watching who looks up to you, what would you tell her?
To go after your dreams, no matter your age. So if you're, 12 years old right now and you're 24, go after it. It doesn't matter. Have fun.
What was your favorite part about the pageant?
I liked getting all fancy, but I liked most of all was the spokesmodel speech.
Not hanging out with me.
Oh, well, that was just a bonus.
I did win Best Dressed, by the way. What were you most nervous for?
The formal wear.
You killed that, though.
Thanks. I'm not used to doing stuff like that.
After this experience, how do you think you've grown as a person?
I would say confidence-wise has gone up a whole bunch. How I just sit and walk, I can tell a big difference in just everything. Just the overall experience, and yeah, I want to keep doing them though. It's a little addicting and really expensive.
We'll see you in Orlando.
Be my life. Stay on the master and take what is not mine. And be my house.
This is in Orlando. That was a band called Camp, and this is basketball camp. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Your music sucks. What is this ninja?
What are you guys talking about? I'm here with
Jago,
what are you listening to?
MSM the Man.
What's one thing you've learned at basketball camp?
MSM the Man is the greatest artist of all time.
Put your finger where?
Wait, videos that has 16 views?
Yeah, this is basketball camp. It is really funny how full circle life is. I remember when I was in high school, I used to make fun of my girlfriend's brother because he was 26 and living at his parents' house. And here I am, 26, living in my parents' basement. But that was back when you could buy a 1-bedroom apartment for some fingernail clippings and some spare change. Nowadays, it'll cost you an arm, a leg, a heart, 2 lungs, 2 kidneys, and that seems a little bit much to live by yourself. Now I'm the one who's getting made fun of by the kids, but it's not because I'm living in my parents' basement, it's because I'm trying. Your music sucks. Is this gonna be on your YouTube channel with 16 views? I've definitely been a hater in my day, but one thing I'll never be is a hater to someone who's trying. When did it become cool to not try? And trust me, I'm not as triggered as that may sound or you may think I am. It actually helped me realize something. The price of creating art will always be rejection. Once you create something and you put it out into the world, it's no longer yours, it's a part of the world's conversation. I remember the first time I really started promoting my music, I had these little QR codes and my friend was nice enough, he was going on a trip to Las Vegas and he took some and he put them up everywhere. And I got a video from some random guy. Here's the video.
I think I just ran into your QR code on the strip and you fucking suck. Don't do this if you're as bad as you are. Like, I could see a good artist doing this, but what the fuck?
As you can see, I'm no stranger to people saying whatever they want to say. Something you hear a lot when you're out in the world is comparison is the thief of joy. But what I learned through that basketball camp was other people's comparisons may hinder you as well. In a world where we already know most people are comparing themselves to the next person, not only will you have to deal with that, you'll have to deal with others doing it for you. But this series isn't about my music. It isn't even about basketball. It's about life and the things I've learned in this 1.5 years while filming the series. Kids at my job catch word I have a YouTube channel and they think I'm trying to be Mr. Beast or whoever their favorite YouTuber is. People hear you make music and assume you're trying to be Drake. As my homie D even said, he could imagine a good artist making QR codes, but at the time I had one project out, and my most streamed song was my first song I ever made, which was likely the one he listened to. Imagine being judged so harshly out the first time trying to do something. And even if my music did suck, which I'm sure it did because, yeah, it did. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But I still got my boy D to listen to it. That's a pretty big feat in itself. A lot of people have a favorite basketball player, a favorite artist, a favorite actor, whatever it may be. But I think for a lot of people, if you asked why they liked a certain person, they wouldn't truly know. They like the most popular person. The person that's always in the spotlight is probably going to garner more fans. And I think if you asked 1 million kids in America who their favorite basketball player was, maybe 3 of them would say Ben Simmons. Maybe. I don't even know if that many would. And going back to judging someone on something they did for the first time, Ben Simmons never had to shoot 3-pointers until he came into the NBA, and he struggled shooting 3-pointers in the NBA and everyone thought he sucked. If Ben Simmons was at the park that you play basketball at and you had no idea who he was, you would think he was a god. But a lot of these preconceived notions and ideas that are echoed in the echo chambers online really do make people's personality and make people think, oh, I don't like this person. Much like if you're listening to music and you've never heard something like it, you can't compare it to anything, you say it's trash. My point is, there's always going to be outside noise and people are always going to try to compare you in some form or fashion and try to relate you to something they already have knowledge of. And respectfully, a lot of people aren't very knowledgeable at all. So even if the comparison's one you like, you really can't take that to heart because maybe that's the only thing they know. I've said it time and time again that Juice WRLD is someone who really inspired me to start making music. I don't really try to make music that sounds like Juice WRLD, but sometimes I have people following me that have Juice WRLD in their bio and stuff, and that always makes me smile. But I have so many other inspirations: Nirvana, All American Rejects, Nestle. You probably don't even know who Nestle is. You think I'm talking about hot chocolate. People will always try to fit the circle into whatever other shape they have in mind. We're here at draft camp, which I lost last year, and we're kind of on the same path to do this year for the younger kids because the Swish Kebabs went undefeated, but then we lost on a buzzer beater. Crew hit 2 threes right here in this corner. We hit 60 points. And now we're about to win and we're about to be in the championship. So hopefully we can win the championship to end this video off on a good note. End the Ben Simmons series off with a win. Right, Joey?
Yup.
If you want it, you want it. Go get it. Come on. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3, together. We're kind of taking a back seat coaching most of this game because we did that last game and the team won by 30.
Up, Joey. Crew, no, scoot back, you're good. Scoot back. That's that side. Go, crew. Good. Alex, that's you next time. Alex, you gonna get mad yet? Rebound the ball.
Let's get the score right there, boys. Well, there you have it, folks. No triumphant ending to the Ben Simmons series. Truthfully, I was foolish to think one would happen anyway, but I do want to give a shout out to my boy Karam. Last year when we did high school draft camp, Karam did not want to take the game-winning shot, but this year, Karam hit the game winner. Well, sort of. Karam receives the ball left wing, tie ball game, chucks up a shot. Misses his own shot, gets the rebound, fights for the rebound, kicks the ball out, relocates to the corner, gets the ball back, puts up another one, bang! And that's the game, folks. It's really cool that when that full circle moment came for Karam, he took the opportunity, seized the moment, and hit the shot. Instead of last year, he was scared. He didn't even want to take it. So big shout out to my boy Karam, my boy Logan, my boy Donnie. They got it done and they won the high school draft camp championship. I know I said it would be foolish to think there would be a triumphant ending, but I was really hoping for one. Regardless though, I still had a lot of fun coaching the Swish Kebabs. We went 9-2. Not too bad. One of my favorite movies is called Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell, and it's basically the story of this guy's life being written by an author. He hears this voice in his head, and it's the author's voice who's actually writing. He hears what the writer writes. And I think it's a really good encapsulation of our inner voice, as well as like maybe your life is written out and you have no idea. There's a scene in it where he's trying to figure out if he's in a tragedy or he's in a comedy, and he's making little tally marks for each, and by the end of the day, it's very apparent that he's in a tragedy. And I'm not going that far to say my life is a tragedy or this series is a tragedy. But if we think about Ben Simmons, he might feel like his life's a tragedy because he didn't live up to expectations. I look back at this year and a half of my life and I really overcame a lot. I've learned a lot. I've done a lot. But I still can't seem to shake the thought that the hard part's not over yet. All the BS that you're gonna encounter in life isn't delegated to a specific age. I was able to see more of the patterns and the things I was doing that were holding me back. I learned a lot about myself. I got closer to God. I have a very healthy relationship with my girlfriend, with my family, and that's something that I definitely didn't have when I started it. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of people who I felt were close to me, who were in my corner. Look at Daisy just left. But something that I'm really proud of for myself is I've always stayed true to me. There's a lot of different hats that you're gonna wear in life. Like when I'm recording, there's a different hat that I'm wearing than when I'm editing. When I'm making music, it's a different hat that I'm wearing versus coaching basketball. When I'm training basketball, it's a different hat that I'm wearing versus hanging out with my girlfriend. And I think sometimes we get caught up in really putting ourselves and our personality in those things. Like when I was working at Foot Locker, I had on a different hat. I had to be helping people. I had to be always on, never know. That's the saying there. If you work there, you know that. And that's something that eventually drains you. Sometimes when I'm coaching basketball, I'm up yelling and screaming like you saw, but sometimes I take a back seat. It's a different hat for every team. It's a different hat for every vibe. And that doesn't mean that you're not yourself. You are just aware of what needs to be done in that situation. Sometimes songs, I need to be yelling and screaming. Sometimes I just need to talk. to convey the emotions that I'm trying to get through to the listener. Sometimes we see ourselves as a circle, but we don't realize we're concentric circles. We're a small circle inside of a medium circle, inside of a little bit bigger of a circle, inside of a little bit bigger of a circle, inside of a huge circle, which is Earth. Too often we try to fit the idea of ourselves and our personality in a small circle, when in reality, if you're a true human living the human experience to the fullest, you're every possible circle ever. A few months ago, I was cleaning out a house and having estate sales and learning a bunch about cars and tools and things that have value that I had no idea had value. Last year, I recorded 3 music projects that were all totally different for all different phases of my life that I was in. My job as a basketball coach and a trainer, I'm able to do because that was my life from the time when I was 13 until I was 19. 6 years of my life, every single day was focused around basketball. Ben Simmons is a really tall guy who's really good at moving with the basketball. Everybody thought he would be LeBron. He's not. But that doesn't mean he's any lesser of a human being. He had this weird obsession with exotic cats. He loves fishing. He plays video games. He's a well-rounded person, just like you should be too. Just because you don't fit people's ideas of you all the time doesn't mean you're not doing this life thing correctly. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm sure you do too. But the goal of life isn't to be perfect, it's to experience the lows and the highs and to live it. I look back on my old music, I look back on my old YouTube videos, and all I do is cringe. But one day I'm gonna die, just like you are too. And when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not gonna sit there and think, oh, you did really good, Max, you weren't cringe. Great job. If you're truly evolving and truly taking the steps to self-actualize, you're always gonna look back at your old self and be like, ugh. And the goal of this series was to show how I've somewhat leveled up in life, and I believe that I accomplished that. I've shared a lot of stories from my life. I've shared a lot of wins, a lot of losses, highs, lows, everything in between. Even one day, I'm gonna look back on this and I'm gonna cringe, but I can know that I kept it real. I was honest. In the grand scheme of things, if you lose a kid's basketball game as a coach, is anyone really gonna care? No. But in the moment, it hurts. You're working really hard towards something and you don't get it, it's gonna hurt. But I think that's the point. You can't really taste the success of winning until you've lost over and over and over again. I have this weird thought and aspiration that one day Ben Simmons is gonna win an NBA championship. He may not be the best player on the team. He might be the 7th, the 8th guy, maybe come in once in a while. But for all of the criticism and all of the losses that he's taken in his life, I think it's just fitting that for his story, one day he's gonna be a winner. Even if you become a winner, you're not gonna be loved by everybody. That's kind of the point. The most powerful people, the most powerful art, the most powerful creations are polarizing. You have people on this side and people on this side. You'll never be loved in life unless you can be hated here and there. It's just the polarity of the universe. And maybe this is just my childhood neglect talking. No disrespect to my parents, they did an amazing job. Any attention is still attention. Even if it's negative attention, you're still getting attention. You can't champion positive attention over negative attention because it's just attention. That's what you do. You draw attention. And at the end of the day, that's really what you came here to do. So you can't be mad when it happens. So here we are, full circle. From the expectations that crowned you before you ever touched the earth, to the silence that followed when the world turned its back, for promise, to pressure, to pain. But this Ben Simmons series was never just about basketball. This was about identity. What happens when your gift becomes your cage and the noise outside drowns out the voice inside? Ben Simmons became a headline, a hashtag, a debate. But behind the critiques was a kid who once just loved the game. And now, after the injuries, the doubt, the time away, we see glimpses of a player not trying to prove who he thought he was, but simply becoming who he is. Not the savior, not the bust, just Ben. In a world obsessed with rise and fall, we rarely recognize a return, but maybe that's the most important part of the story. The comeback, isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's personal, and sometimes it brings us right back to where it all started. Not to repeat the past, but to reclaim it. This wasn't just the Ben Simmons series. This was the reminder that redemption isn't something you're given, it's something you earn, step by step. Welcome back, full circle.